Well, there we go. Welcome everybody to our fifth, I think it is, episode of the DMC live on YouTube. It seems like we're expanding week by week. So this week I'm joined by my co-hosts, Martin Dare from Dinky Restorations. Good evening, Martin.
Evening, people. Evening.
Kev from Kevs Diecast Restorations. Good evening, Kevin.
Evening.
We've got Laz, of course, from Lazi-low collectibles. Good evening, Laz.
Evening, everyone. Good evening.
Finally, Luke from Diecast Outlaws. Good evening, Luke.
Good evening, everybody.
And we've got our special guest this week, who is Kevin Vincent from Kevs Banger Races. Have I got that right, Kevin?
You got it right this time, yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's we're off to a belter then. Bit of a result that. So the first thing we'll do is give Kev a chance to catch up with us on what we're doing. We'll go around the houses and see what people have been up to this week. So we'll start with Martin. Martin, I know you've been away, so you're back home.
Yeah.
What you been doing?
On the bench at the moment, I've got a Dinky Toys Alfa Romeo Coupe, which is in the middle of being restored. That will be followed by Jaguar Mark 10 for Dinky, and hopefully two in the works for the rest of the month will be a Gorgie Majors Chipperfield Circus. It's the Scammell crane truck, and also the Dinky Toys conveyor forklift. That's the lineup for this month for me, which I shall be doing. And yeah, I just like to. I don't know if Ian Hulley, Mr. Ian Hulley, is in the stalls or in the box somewhere. So I just like to say good evening to Ian Hulley, and thanks very much for all his support over the years. And just wish him well, because he's been a little bit poorly lately. So if you're there, Ian, thank you very much, my friend.
And best wishes, Ian, from all of us. If you've had a bit of a rough time, we'll give him a shout out if he does give us a hello in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martin. Kev, this is going to get a little bit confusing, so I'm going to call Kevin Vincent Kevin, and Kev, Mr. P, will be Kev. So, Kev, what you've been up to this week, mate?
No diecast as yet. I haven't started any. I'm finished. Well, I'm in the process of finishing off that Mustang. I've got the decals on it. I've just got the windows to put in it, and it should be all hunky-dory. So I'm hoping to finish that this week. And on last week, I started a Tiger one tank.
Nice.
I started that last week, and it's probably going to be finished by the end of next week, I think. So I've got that, and I'm hoping to get these closed off so that I can crack on with my next project. So that's about it, really. It's all plastic stuff.
Okay, doke. Thanks, mate. Nice. Luke?
This week's build was the Bedford CF Dinky. I've done that in the theme of 70s, 80s custom. That's there. Yeah. And I've got for next week, I've just had this through the sandblaster. It's a 1940 Ford pickup. So that's next week's project there on the bench. And that's basically about it for me.
Nice one, thank you, sir. Laz?
I'm away, so I'm not working at the moment, but I have a Dinky Toys Morris Oxford on the go, and also the Matchbox refrigerator or fridge truck.
Refrigerator.
And I've got this Bedford, Dinky Toys Bedford, what Luke just showed. I've got two of those nearly finished, Royal Mail and the AA route service. And what else I have? I have one more Land Rover to fix, and I just edited the video for next week, the third video of diecast restorations without a video. So that's all I'm doing at the moment.
Okay, before I well, I haven't done a great deal, so it's not going to take long to say what I have or haven't done. But we'll just say a quick hello to the folks in the chat. So hello to Michael at Gravesend. Hello, Henrik.
Henrik, Michael.
We got Les as well.
Listening in while giggling, loads of laughs. Well, thanks for that, Moz. It's good to see you, buddy.
Even Les.
What have I been doing? I was gifted some Jerry Anderson pieces, and I'm looking at repairing an Angel. I've got 3 of them. 3/4 of the model is made of diecast. The front nose cone is plastic, and they get damaged very easily. So I'm looking at some material to create some replacement parts. Now it may be that I cast them in resin. I was talking in the tavern last night with the guys about using styrene, but styrene is becoming increasingly expensive. If anybody's aware of any alternatives, by all means, stick it in the chat. We'll give anything a go. So I've got that. And the other thing that I'm looking at is our theme for the month with the DMC challenge is set by Mr. Dare himself, which was cops and robbers. So I'll give Michael a laugh. I've found a miniature, if I can put my hands on it. Where have I put it? I've got a Quattro, Michael. There it is. I've got a Quattro. I've done a 143 scale Quattro in red to represent Life on Mars, the detective series. This is a 164 scale, and I'm going to give this a go. But I've got several other variations of police cars that I'm looking at, and just to give Moz a shout out, if I do this one, Moz, I'm going to do it with the red Outlaw paint. So that's my choice for that. Getting back to Kev, the reason I left Kev till last is because Kev specialises in something slightly different to the rest of us. So do you want to give us a bit of an explanation of what you do, Kev, before we start grilling you, left, right,
interrogation, yeah. Well, I'll take the old die-cast model cars, like Corgi and Matchbox ones, and strip them apart and turn them into banger racing cars. Like various drivers and teams and so on.
Okay, doke.
Yeah.
Right. We were talking about asking these questions in order, and it all went a bit south before we ran out of time. So apologies for that. If you can remember what you was going to ask, Martin, by all means, give it a shout.
Right. Yes. Kevin. Evening, Kevin.
Martin.
Question I'd like to ask you. I've got a couple of questions. The first one was, what actually made you decide to take up the banger racing side of the diecast rather than restoring or collecting, or what was your inspiration to do banger racing apart from anything else?
It was actually going to banger racing itself way back in the late 80s, early 90s at Wimbledon. Sort of saw different cars being raced. So I thought going to my local Woolworth store, because it's open at the time, and everything's like the old Jaguars and Rolls Royces and taxis. So I thought buy one of each of those and have a go at touring the banger racing cars. And that's where it all started from. That was back in the early 90s.
All right. Yeah. So it goes back a while then.
It does actually, yeah.
Can you remember some of the racing venues that you've been to, apart from Wimbledon?
Yeah, used to go to loads back then, yes. So Wimbledon I've been to, Arlington, which is near Eastbourne. I've been to Ipswich, Hennisford Raceway up in the Midlands.
Hennisford,
Northampton, Swaffham in Norfolk. A local one, which is Smallfield Raceway, which is just down the road from me. It's a dirt track. Used to go to another dirt track near there called Gatwick, which is no longer there now. My very first one, way back in the 80s, my dad took me there. There's another dirt track near Dorking called Walnham.
All right, yeah.
That was, yeah, and
Mm.
yeah, the ones I've
Can
been to.
you also remember, cast your mind back, can you remember what was the very first banger racer that you actually made die-cast?
I
Can you
think it
remember
must
that far back?
be, yeah, must have been a Corgi London taxi.
Mm.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
brought it
cool.
brand new Taurus.
Interesting, interesting. So the other question is I've got for you is, what is your favourite or preferred brand of car maker, like, you know, Corgi, Dinky, Welly, Green Light, whatever? What's your favourite to take apart and turn into a banger racer regarding, you know, ease of deconstruction?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it must be Corgi. I didn't take it. Yeah, Corgi. Yeah, I do those mostly. Even others. Yeah.
Yeah. You
But I
find
do
them
like,
easy
You
to.
go for
I
140
do like
freestyle
some of the,
mainly, don't you, Kev?
yeah, mainly. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
like some of the Corgi ones, which are screw base fittings, which are easy to pull apart.
Yeah.
I say mostly Corgis.
Interesting, interesting. So do
Kev,
you?
Go on, Martin. Sorry.
No, I'm going to say, so that would you say that Corgis would be your preferred die-cast to actually, if you had a choice, you would do a Corgi rather than something else?
Yeah, mainly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I think that's my two questions. Interesting. Thanks, Kevin.
The questions turned into 4, so he's done us all a favour by stretching it out a bit for us.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah.
We had a bit of we got a set of questions, and it was difficult to kind of apply them to the way that Kev goes about his modelling compared to people that do restorations.
I have done in the past the old plastic model kits. Like
Yeah.
Is it AMT or Ertl, whatever it is?
Yeah.
AMT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a few of them in the past. Yeah.
So if Kev, can you remember what you was going to ask? If not, I'll reel off these questions and
Can't remember now.
Laz.
Yes, I need to read it. Can you share some of the most challenging restorations projects you worked on, and how did you overcome the difficulties?
But as in turning the bangers, you mean, or
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're trying to apply this. But for the hardest project you did.
Your project.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think probably some of the difficult ones. Probably the Dinky Rolls Royce Phantom 5s. Sometimes I trouble with the front end on those.
Right.
Yeah, but I do find a way around it eventually. Yeah, I think that's the most challenging ones. Yeah.
Luke, I didn't think.
Okay, and the next question is just half, because Martin already asked which is your favorite brand. Yeah. But what types of diecast models do you specialize in restoring or making it as a banger racer? And do you have a favorite era that you, I mean, like 80s cars or 70s cars, or which era do you like?
Yeah, it must be cars from the 70s and 80s, really. Well, I like doing, yeah.
Yeah, this is what normally you do, I think, those kind of.
Yeah, most of them are, yeah.
Okay. So these were my questions.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Luke, I don't know whether we got round to discussing what I was going to ask. So if you've got anything, by all means, shout out.
Yeah, Kev. Good evening, mate.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, just wondering, mate, can you share any memorable builds that you've done over the years, or whether you've got a favourite one that you've built?
I've got a favourite casting, which I like to turn the bangers, and it's the Dinky Toys. What?
I can see Dare's threatening you now. Be careful what you say.
Not the Jaguar.
Yeah.
As long as you start with Jack and ending good, you're all right.
Yeah, it's the Dinky Toys, the Cadillac Superior Ambulance, is it?
Yeah, that chassis, yes.
A larger one,
the Earth.
Yeah, that one, yes. Those I like doing, yeah. That's my favourite costume.
Oh,
I
you
like
mate.
to, yeah.
So,
Yeah, they
where'd
always
you
look
get
good.
the
They always look-
decals from, mate? Your deliveries?
Where'd I get the decals from?
Yeah, all deliveries that you do on, because you do quite a few, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, a lot. Well, before Andy came along, started doing them. I just
Shout
hand
out to
painted
Andy
them.
Bourne.
Yeah, Andy Bourne, yeah. Yeah, I used to hand paint them. Nearly all of them.
I'm
But
painting.
now I do a
Do
mixture of
all of
both.
them, what, like,
Like decals and painting. Yeah.
you mate.
I mean, Kev,
Like,
Kev in,
all of us here watch your videos. Sorry, PJ, go on, mate.
yeah, Kev's become our de facto collector of spare parts.
Yeah. That's right.
Because of the nature of what he does.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of us asking Kev if he's got a spare part for A, B, C, or D kind of model.
Yeah. I've got loads of spare parts.
And he's been very giving of the spare parts that he's got. So thank you for doing that with us, Kev.
Yeah,
but
that's no problem. Yeah. Anytime you
that's
guys
all
need.
about what the community is about, anyway.
That's right.
Has anybody got anything else before I just troll through what we've got left of these questions and
Can I
reel
just
them
say
off?
Yeah, yeah.
You got my.
Go on,
Sorry, something going to ask. I was going to say that
yeah, go on, fire, go on. Carry on.
your I know you have. There's different teams in the banger racing.
Yeah. That's right.
So what's your favourite team?
My favourite team.
Yeah. You know they have the group of teams and the lads, don't they? What's your favourite one?
It's got to be the Surrey Street squad.
Surrey Street Squad, yeah.
Yeah. Their cars are white with red spots.
Yeah.
And they're known mainly for wrecking and material. Now, what I mean by material is like really old classics, like your huge Yanks Inks and that sort of thing, P5s, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's the team I like, yeah.
Okay, cool.
They're based in Croydon.
So I'm going to skip some of these because I've just thought of a question. Have you actually been involved with real full-size bangers?
I did once, yes, at a previous job I was at, because I had a guy who did banger racing.
Right.
And sometimes used to do like sign writing on his cars for him.
All right.
Yeah.
So was sign writing something you specialised in then?
Not really. I just sort of dabbled in it at the time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But so I just said, I fancy doing sign on your car. So he said, yeah, no problem.
Because you've come up with some cracking teams. I mean, I don't know whether some of them you've told us that they actually exist.
Yeah, that's what a lot of them do.
But you started a DMC team, which was, that made me chuckle. That was great. That was.
Why not? Why not?
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
But you got teams like the Suicide Squad. Yeah. That was really good.
Yeah.
Favourite of mine was the Bears because
I'd Brighton Bears. Yeah.
I love the Chicago Bears, so that tied in with that. Like.
Yeah.
So what's the? I think Martin asked you. What's the favourite team you've had that's a real team?
Yeah.
What's the best? What's your favourite team that you've come up with and thought, I've got a good idea for this imaginary team?
Oh right, okay, imaginary team. Ooh. I did do one once several years ago, and I based it on Thunderbirds.
You're not going to go wrong there with me.
So you got like Thunderbird 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
That's a cracking idea. That is, yeah.
Yeah. Different.
Thunderbird bangers. I like it.
Yeah.
That's got legs. That has, Kev. I like that. That's yeah. Well, we've managed to battle his way through that without.
Well, I think another question I'd like to ask him. I've noticed that just recently you started to do one or two restorations.
Yeah,
and some good ones. Is there plans in the future to do that a restoration on a regular basis, one a month maybe, or a couple of months, or?
Yeah, probably 1 or 2 a month. Yeah, I've just decided to have a go at it.
Yeah,
be different. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a thought that it, because I mean I've seen 1 or 2 that you did, that Herbie, and the other one you did was nice.
What did you find the biggest? I mean, that's interesting. That is because now that's led down another line of questions.
Yeah.
What did you find was the biggest difference or the biggest challenge moving from stripping a model to its basics
Yeah.
to getting a car, a beat up car back to its best.
Yeah, back to the original thing.
Biggest difference you found?
It must be a bit strange for me because I do bangers mostly. Just put it all back together again, I suppose, to make it look like a road car. I suppose, yeah.
But were you tempted to turn around and go, "Oh, sod it," and then track it? You know what I mean?
No, I wasn't tempted actually. It wasn't tempted.
Yeah. Good man. Good man.
I mean, we had some questions.
What paints do you use, Kev?
Wait, Luke, what's that? Sorry?
Go again, Luke.
Sorry, mate. What paints do you use, Kev?
What paints?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
what paint do you use?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
use,
hand paint.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then-
Yeah, I use the humble modelling paints, the little tiny pots.
Paints. So
Yeah, they'll
when
be
you're
enamel,
installing
won't
them, Kev, I take it you spray them.
The restorations I would go at, or repaints, but I spray paint those.
Yeah.
But when I do the
I know,
paint,
I've seen the Renault 5 you did, the blue one. You done a good job of that.
Yeah,
It was nice.
that's a replay out of a can, yeah.
Yeah, done a good job of that.
Yeah,
Because them Humbrals, they're enamels, aren't they?
yeah, enamels, yeah.
Mm.
I'm doing Kev a misservice, so my apologies, Kev. I should have done that. There we go. Kev's banger racers. So that's we had a bit of fun because we actually went through these questions with Kev a couple of weeks ago, and Hammer was the answer to most of the questions.
Yeah.
And it was all meant with a bit of fun, like
Yeah,
what's your
all
favourite
bad.
tool?
Yeah.
What's going to be an hammer? What's your favourite colour of hammer? Which hammer do you specialise in? It was kind of but if you visit Kev's channels, and please do so, please visit all the guys' channels. We're trying to get somebody different on every 2 weeks to give their channel a boost. It means a lot to all of us. If you do that, please like and subscribe to the guys' videos. But if you watch Kev's videos, it's a different take, which I think is what I like, because I've always said, you can't watch everybody's videos, but you like to see something different, a new technique or a new way of doing something or a new type of modeling, And I think the way that Kev does it is cracking, because he always brings a smile to his face on a Friday night. And I think
a cringe, more of a cringe than a smile sometimes. But he's going, "Oh no, he just destroyed it." I remember he did the spot on when he destroyed. I thought, "Oh no, that's going to cause a havoc amongst the spot on community."
Yeah,
that one.
As soon as Kev comes on and he'll say, "I've done a jag this week," everybody takes a sharp intake of breath and looks at Martin.
Look at Martin.
Yeah, you destroyed another jag. Yeah. I'm watching your video tonight, Kev. Actually, I just started watching your purchase and donations.
Oh yeah.
And I was only in a couple of minutes, and I see his jag, and I thought, no, don't, please don't destroy that. That was that small one. Is it a plastic base one?
Yeah, plastic base one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is. Something I've not heard of.
Nice.
Yeah. Did you see the XJ6 green one?
Yeah, the one with the TWR one. That was the one before that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I might keep that one.
Yeah, because it's got good decals. That's a good design, that one.
That's right.
That they did. It's better than the other one they did. They did a mobile one, which is pretty boring, really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree with that.
Did you have you considered going down a scale, Kev? I know you doing 143 scales. Do you do any 164s?
I have done some smalls now and again in the past.
Yeah.
Like the Corgi Juniors, that sort of size.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've done one or two of those, but I do find a bit fiddly because of the size. Did all the
yeah. Especially if you're painting numbers and things like that. It's going to be
exactly. Yeah.
Because I think you've done caravans. You've done a caravan as well. You've done a caravan. You've done a camper van.
Yeah.
You've done the ambulances
Yeah.
and the cars. Have you done any trucks
That's a
Or
first.
buses?
I'd like to see a bus.
Yeah.
A bus would be a good one. Yeah, yeah.
On where have I seen? I think on YouTube, there's actually bus banger racing in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an idea. Yeah, it's an idea.
Or a van. You know, like a just like a van.
Yeah, yeah.
I know this.
Do
Yeah.
van banger racing. Yeah, do van bangers.
Yeah, I've seen a few of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done vans before. Yeah.
I'm
Nope.
sure I've seen double. I wouldn't say it's banger racing, but I'm sure I've seen double decker racing.
Yeah. If
That will be a bit horrendous in that tight circle that they go round a double decker bus.
If you go on YouTube, there's a video at Northampton Raceway back in the 80s, and they got his ex-London buses racing around it.
Really?
That one.
I mean, they only do something like 28 mile an hour. It'd take like a week to finish a race, wouldn't it?
It would.
Fastest sport in the world. But the truck race, there's thousands of pounds poured into Formula One truck racing. It's a big sport, that is.
Yeah, truck racing is, definitely.
Well, that's Kev. Thanks for taking on this. Not so much a challenge, but this grilling, and I think it's fascinating what you do, and it's another take on what we all, on model making, whether it be restoration or creating banger cars. So, just turning over to Laz, my chatteroony friend. Have we got any chat, Laz? We got coming up?
We have comments. Chat. They did double decker racing on Top Gear, says Michael from Diecast. Grace and Australia Diecast Salvage.
Salvage, are you sweet?
The chat, I said to everyone, evening guys, there's no comments in the chat, but we have comments. And he says also in Australia. So these are the comments. We got Les here, Henrik, and Michael.
So have you guys in the chat got any questions for our good friend Kev or Kevin while he's here? Now's your time. Now's the time to ask. It's been a bit of a quiet on this one, hasn't it? So there you go. Any questions? Any further questions from our guys on the channel? Martin, Kevin.
It's I find it an interesting subject, to be honest with you. That you're doing there, Kev. I mean, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just destroying the car," but all joking aside, to get it right, to get it look right, it's not that easy.
It's not. No,
it's not, because you've got to get the
real thing
cuts right, haven't you?
Cut bits off here and there, and add bits and all that.
Yeah, you got to actually see at least. You've got to go actually physically see these banger racers to actually see what they do for the preparation of the car. And I mean, I have done banger racing right back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, and I used to race a Ford Angular, and and stuff like that. But to actually see how they put them back together when they've had a race, I mean, it was fascinating. I watched a few videos just recently of this guy, and the thing that reminded me was he got a Volvo estate, and it had been hit hard at the back and at the front, and they actually got it on the high ab on the back of the truck on the beaver bed, and they were actually bending it the other way back again. They were bending it straight while using the crane and jacks and sledgehammers. And they were knocking it and twisting it and pulling it, and as long as it ran, it was chucked back in the track, and then another go round. And to me, I thought, that's just, it's just, you could just have a lot of fun doing that, banging and smashing it about.
That's right. That's what you do to get back on the track again.
So yeah, the stuff I raced, we raced with Ford Angers, it was minis, A30s, A35, A40s, you know, that sort of thing. You know, quite smaller cars, but now the cars are a lot bigger, like the big Volvos and stuff like this. You know,
that's right. The old Mercs and Granadas and all that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just tweaking names.
What's your favourite class, Kev, of the size of the engine? Because I know they have different classes, don't they? For Banga racing.
Gosh. I don't know really. It's a tough one that. It must be the unlimited bangers, like the big cars. You got those, and then you got like micro
the bigger
bangers.
engines, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then you got like 1600 bangers and all that. Yeah, so for me, it's got to be the unlimiteds. Yeah.
But you've also done marshalling.
Sorry, Les. Sorry, was that?
Go on, Luke.
Oh, Lukey.
Sorry, PJ. Who actually got you into the banging? Was it? I think Mark might have said that. Was it your dad? Was it?
Yeah, well, my late father. Yeah, he took me to the very first one at Walnham, all the way back in the early 80s. Yeah, I think that's what I got.
Did your dad ever race?
He never did. No.
Did your dad ever race? No.
He never raced. No.
Okay, thank you.
It was really good that Kev. Once I realised what Kev was doing, I mentioned to him that we had a banger team, a fairly. I mean, he probably knows how much more famous they are than I do. Called a team called the Yellow Devils, which was based in the East Midlands.
Yeah,
and it was like the Ireland Globetrotters of the banger world, I think, at the time. They were really got a really renowned name, you know.
That's right.
So, but you also. You've been to, haven't you marshalled some of the races as well, Kev?
I do motor racing marshalling, but I've never marshalled banger racing though.
So what is it you special when you do marshalling? Which races are you marshalling?
Like the proper race circuits, like Brands at Silverstone, Snetterton. Because how I got into that was through a couple of marshals I got talking to down at Brands Hatch, probably 2011, 2012. And they kept saying to me, so when I go see you in orange, because we're the orange outfits.
Yeah.
I said, what, me do that? I said, yeah, why not? I'm a nerd about it. And I kept seeing these two marshals every time. They kept asking me the same thing every time. So I gave in and done what they call a taster day, where you go on track with the marshals for the day to find out what it's all about and get involved in it, which I really enjoyed. And I signed up and became a race marshal.
So you could become a race marshal. It could cover any class, really, then. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I do like British touring cars, truck racing. I've done British GTs, Formula One.
Wow.
At Silverstone, yeah. I've done all the smaller club meetings. Yeah.
So is Silverstone your main? What I guess would be classed as a big track.
Yeah, it is, because where the Formula One is.
Yeah.
But the locals Brands Hatch.
Your locals Brands Hatch, yeah. I'm just trying to think where my locals. But it's interesting when you said I forgot all about Ennisford Raceway.
Oh, Ennisford, yeah.
That was in the East Midlands somewhere.
That's right, it is, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
So up near Wolverhampton, around that way.
Well,
somewhere.
yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I'm pretty sure that it was because banger racing was big in the Wolverhampton area.
Oh yeah.
And I think we've talked in the past about if we ever had a DMC,
car, don't
yeah, if we ever have a DMC day out, we'd like to go to somewhere like Skeggy where they still have the banger racing in
Skeggy.
That's down the road from where I go on a mail port where I have my van. Yeah,
that'd be a great day. That'd be great. Yeah. Well, we could get a couple of caravans between us, and that'd be a great weekend out. That would.
It would be a good weekend because it's a good track down. It gets a lot of people down there.
Yeah, it is. If it's like really big meetings, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big meeting.
Yeah.
I've seen Henrik has just put a comment in the chat. I've tried to make a banger car, but it ended up completely breaking. Probably because I'm a bit too
heavy-handed.
Voluptuous. I've never heard that. Voluptuous with an fantastic. But I mean, that brings up, that kind of refers back to what Martin was saying is you've got to be careful how far you go. You've got to keep the structure to make it still a feasible banger car.
Yeah.
Too far.
You go too far, it just fall apart.
So have you got like a... Go on, Laz.
What?
I have a question. So, because you're doing banger racing, so you must have a huge stock of glasses, windscreens, bumpers, lamps. What are you planning to do with those parts? Because obviously they are gold now. I mean,
so I'll just keep hold of them. So people
usually send them up to me for my broken parts.
Anybody wants any parts, just ask. Yeah.
No, he's been. Kev's been very generous with giving parts out to people that I think. I don't know whether Martin, you've had some parts from Kev.
Yeah.
He's been
I'll attempt to repair the Jaguars. To repair the Jaguars that he destroys. You know what I mean? So,
I like the fact that Martin goes, look what you could have had if you'd have done it right.
Actually, you just reminded me now that I still have a Jaguar. I've done that Jaguar on the channel, the Corgi XJ. Help me, Martin. The one I've done in black. I've done it for someone requested with the special registration plate. I don't know which one is the XJ9 or
it's XJ6. Is
XJ6? Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got a spare body, so I might look up. I think I might need a windscreen actually.
Oh yeah, well, XJ6.
To make another one.
Okay.
So I might look that up and I might contact you.
Yeah.
If you have any spare parts, so I can make another one.
Yeah, I'm sure I can help you out with that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We're fortunate to be doing some testing. Going off topic slightly, so I do apologise. But we are going to be doing some paint testing, and I've picked up an XJS.
Oh yeah, a little miniature one. Yeah.
This is a little 164 scale from Matchbox. But I was asked if I would attempt to do a car with British Racing green, and I think the Jag is a car that lends itself to that colour.
Yeah, pretty more warp. Yeah.
I've also got a bright orange. Is Andy's not on? I don't think Andy Bourne's in the chat. So I've got a Outlaw paints Jägermeister orange, and I think I'm going to use that for doing the Bond bug.
Right.
How do you find that paint?
Say again, sorry.
How do you find that Outlaw paint?
I haven't tried it yet. This is what I've tried to do, Kevin, is match the paint to a car that I want to do. I've got three. We've got some bottles to test. I don't want to give too much away because it's a little bit unfair. But we've had 3 bottles to test. So I've got I'm going to do the Audi. Sorry, I'm mumbling and grumbling. I'm going to do the little Audi with red. I'm going to do the Jag with the green, and then I've got an orange. The Bond bug's behind me, but I've got to get the decals for the Bond bug first. So
you're putting that through an airbrush. You're putting that through an airbrush, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to. Well, the challenge is different. I don't get it. Different types of primers in different types of airbrush and using different kind of airbrushes in different environments. So I'll be using an iCoat primer, whether it be, grey, white, or red. And as an airbrush, this is a Steinbeck, but I'm going to be using the battery-powered version of it. So that's my setup. I know that Luke's got a setup that he might want to try and explain to people that are not aware.
I just run a normal airbrush compressor that I run about 60 to 55 psi. I've got a Sparmax airbrush, and that's running a 0.6 needle. And it's got the fan air cap, so I'll see how we'll get on with that. I'm hopefully going to be spraying Monday, so I'll know then how good it is.
Martin's got a setup as well. What's your setup, Martin, for airbrushing?
Yeah, I've got a couple of airbrushes. I've got Ardent and Steenbeck, and I've got a Neo. Yeah, I call it a Neo, something like that. And I got a cheap Chinese one that I use basically for if I do any primers. Yeah.
This is the
giving it a go. It'd be a long time. I've not had my airbrush out for a while yet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not the most confident airbrushing technician in the world, but I'm prepared.
But you don't have to. You don't overthink it, mate. You get on and do it.
Just go for it, yeah. So we're going to be doing that. So without being named away, thank you for the supplies of those paints. We're going to be there'll be more developments on that in the future. We'll give a big shout out when we've done some testing.
We have a question.
So what's the idea of all this testing? Have you had freebies or something? Have you?
Samples, should we say?
yes, we have. Well, not.
Right.
We were offered three choices of paints, and without going, I don't want to go too much into it, Kev. I'll tell you in a different conversation to this. I want to protect the people that we're involved with at this moment in time until we've passed our thoughts on it.
Right.
But it's looking promising. So we may have a deal coming up in the future that I can explain a little bit more, a little bit better going forward. But at this moment in time, I'm trying to keep it in house until we've done a little bit of testing. But I'll have a discussion with you, Kevin, about it. We have. I want to thank. I don't think Lee, if you're there, give us a way up in the chat. We've got another Patreon. So Kev's Diecast Restorations, Laz, Luke, and Lee from Diecast Fixer Uppers have become patrons of the channel. It means a lot to me. Well, it means a lot to us because it helps support us and it helps us license this software so that we can do this. Facebook doesn't allow us to do this. We have to use it through a third party. If you use Facebook, I think I mentioned it before that me and Laz tested this on Facebook, this environment, and it only allows you to have 2 people online at any one time. So we use a piece of software called StreamYard. The guys have been more than generous to help support that, and we're now covering the cost of that. The animations and the voiceovers, that kind of thing, will come into play as and when and if we get more subscribers going forward. You know, the little videos I do for the monthly description of what we've been doing and etc. Those licenses have run out because they were supplied by the company I used to work for that I don't work for anymore. Whew, big breath. So now I've battered everybody to death with finances and God knows what. AOB. Kev, bless him. Kev gets battered when we have our tavern on a Friday night, and he's
don't adjust.
But it's all done with good. It's all done with fun.
Of course it is. Absolutely.
Yeah. And he gets battered to death whenever he's trying to explain anything. So the floor is yours, my friend. Please tell us where we can find you on any forms of social media. Tell us about your channel. where we can find it, anything that you want to say, my friend.
Yeah.
The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, so I've got my YouTube channel, Kevs Banger Racers. Yeah, we're doing with videos, so you watch any of those anytime you want. Obviously, I'm with you guys on the DMC Facebook page as well. Add stuff on there.
It's TikTok as well, Kevin. Are you on there?
Yeah, on TikTok as well. I'm on there, so I'm on TikTok,
You're
Facebook.
going out marketing.
I am, yeah.
Oh, I need to find you then.
Instagram. What's the other
I
one?
can just about cope with Instagram. I've got no idea what a
WhatsApp.
TikTok is. It just tells you the time, doesn't it? I've got what's all that all about? Somebody have to explain. Somebody will have to explain to the IT specialist what TikTok's all about.
Well, it's just like uploading videos.
You're right.
And
It's
you
like
can
shorts
chat
on
as well,
YouTube.
Sorry, Les.
It definitely helps, I think, with subscribers though, because they watch your videos, you link your YouTube channel into it, and I've had a
Yeah,
few come across from TikTok.
yeah.
We have a question on the chat.
Sorry, Laz. Yeah, well,
Go on, lads. We have got a question. Please ask.
Play Apps says, Kevin, have you thought of doing a banger racing diorama?
I've been asked this a few times, but
We've asked you to do this. We've asked you to do this.
yeah. But the problem is, because I'm living in a flat now, and we've only got like a communal garden, which I'm not allowed to dig up to do it anyway. So I can't really see it being feasible at the moment.
I think what you're looking to do is to get, if you can imagine the old Walker's crisp boxes, you know, where you can get various boxes of cheese, onion, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
we're not sponsored by Walker's crisp, by the way. But if you want to do, by all means, send us some money. What you're almost looking to do is to cut two sides off it and make a diorama within that sort of size box. I think.
Yeah, possibly.
And I think it'd be cracking. You know.
Yeah,
It could be a garage scene. It could be inside a garage or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think in that respect, just an idea with limited space.
Yeah.
Because the size of the cars that you do, the 1.3, whatever size is a good size of car to work on. It will be to do a corner, just one corner. You know,
right.
instead of doing the whole track, you just do a detail of one corner.
Yeah,
with the fence and in the background and the piece of tracking. If you remember a piece of electric track, you know, a curve. Say you've got two curves on a piece of electric track, the park curves about that size for a diorama. Obviously muddy it up, and then you can put your cars in the sort of contact position. Maybe get four cars in there. That would make a small diorama. It wouldn't take up a lot of space.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're saying about all that. Many years ago, when I was living at my family home with my parents, when they were both at work and I was at home, not working, in the living room, I had this big sort of square carpet, and I used to play with bangers around that.
Used to
do that, I did.
Yeah, you see, when your parents are out, you get up to all sorts, mate. You know.
That's right. Yeah.
It's surprising that the older we get, the more we want to go back to his childhood and do things when we did when we were, I don't know, 10, 12 years old. Like, it's, I would like to do a repair. I had it down here last night. I got Shadow Mobile 1. And I'd love to do the forest scene. It's in a particular episode, but you've got a mobile going through a forest, and there's a UFO that's in just above the tree line.
Yeah, I know that sort of scene. Yeah,
I'd love to do something like that. And there's a lake in the background. It looks superb. So, that'd be one of them kind of resin scenes. You know, where you do it. You've seen people doing them in fish tanks and stuff like that. Where there's
that's right.
I think they're marvelous. They do. You've got bloody squids coming up and octopuses and all sorts of these scenes like they're amazing.
Yeah, that's right. It really is.
It's a different level of model making, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've covered all the chat, I think. Thank you,
I've got a
Michael. Bless
question
you for getting out of bed. Moz, if you're still there, thank you, mate. Play apps, Enric. I think that's everybody in the chat.
I've got a question for you, Kev.
Yeah, go
Go
on,
for it,
yeah,
Kevin.
yeah, go for it, yeah.
You said you've been doing it since the 1990s. So how many
Yeah.
castings do you think you've got off the top of your head?
Well, at the time, I had so many. But I literally went out of room in my bedroom. So I ended up selling them all to make space. But
Yeah.
I had hundreds of them. I did hundreds of them. Gosh.
So how
what
do you
do
store
with
them now then?
What ones that ready made or ones waiting to be made?
The ones you've made.
Yeah.
Ones I've made. Well, at the moment, I've got the bookcase shelf units. I use those to keep them on, to display them.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're all out to view then, are they?
Oh yeah, all to view. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to. I think everybody that is here is within the DMC. So by all means, Kev, please stick a picture up of your cabinet and shelves and.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
That'd be
So
great.
I've also got apart from my bangers, I've got model trucks. I've got yesteryear models, Corgi classics. So let me talk that as well.
Stick it up, mate. Stick them all
Yeah,
up.
I
You
will
can
do.
put them all in an album and stick them on Facebook. So that'd be great. Yeah.
I'll do that. Yeah.
And I'd encourage everybody to do that, not just the people that are online now, people in the chat. If you've got something to display, by all means, if you've done a diorama, we'd love to see them. We encourage everybody to get involved. You don't have to have a YouTube channel just to put stuff on the Facebook page. People do the DMC monthly challenge that we never get a chance to speak to, and they are big supporters of ours. So Phil, like the Unitarians and Papa and Rich and people like this, they do some marvelous work. To all, what do you do with your cars? Sorry, Enric's asking. To all, what do you do with your cars that you do? Because you must have a lot on hand, which is kind of on the back of what Kevin's just asked. Storage spaces. I mean, it makes me laugh that Martin's he's got his place up near Skeggy, like, and slowly but surely it is starting to fill with models.
Yeah, it is gradually getting there. Yeah. Too much time on my hands. That's the trouble.
We love Verna because she's got the patience of, mind you, Verna's to blame for buying you a load of stuff anyway, so you can't really.
Yeah, she does. She's always buying stuff, always for me. Yeah.
What about you, Kevin? You asked the question. Where do you store your stuff?
I chuck mine in a shoebox because once I've restored them, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't got the room really to put a cabinet in the house. So once they're restored, it's like my plastic kits. They just get chucked in a box. They serve their purpose, and that was it.
You put all that. You put all
it sounds sacrilege, really, but I just got nowhere to put it.
What about you, Luke?
I display some of them, BJ. I've got a couple of shelves up here, but the thing is, they fill up fast. So again, once the shelf's full, I'll take some off, put them in a box, and then as I've finished them, I'll put them up there for a bit. But I may be at some point, I might be selling some. Probably going to get rid of some of them.
Okay, Laz, what do you do with yours, mate?
Well, the ones normally I do, I mean, this new series of diecast restorations without a video, those cars, most of them I sell. I have a few guys who are interested in specific sizes, specific makes. For example, Lesney's, they all go to a guy in Budapest who loves them. So I keep the ones I really like, or they're really cute. I have a small cabinet. I can fit about 30 Lesney size 1:64 ones in there.
Yeah.
I have a few there, like you know, the Henkel and the spot-on BMW Isetta. So I have a few in there, a Ferrari, and I fill that up, and then I rotate them. So if I do another one, a new one, and I like that more, I see which one I possibly can, you know, replace, and then I contact somebody. I have somebody for the bigger sizes who are interested in that. So I keep the ones that are really close to me, really close to my taste. The rest I sell because I don't have space. So it's a project. I do it. If I like it, I keep it. If not, I offer to somebody. If they like it, the sale is done. A new project. I buy new cars, do new projects.
I mean, it's surprising how quickly,
Right.
if you're doing them on a regular basis, if you're doing restorations on a regular basis, it's amazing how quickly your collection builds up.
Head off in a minute, chaps.
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah.
All right,
There was
Mark.
a late one last night.
Yeah, no worries, buddy.
Are we all frozen?
We all no, we're all still
Oh,
here.
oh, oh,
No,
so-
I think
I'm
we're
gonna-
not. I
I'm-
can see
I'm
everybody
gonna-
moving.
I'm going to head off in a minute because we had a late one last night and I've got a busy day tomorrow. So,
We did.
Okay,
All right,
Mark.
mate. Well, have look after yourself. We'll see you soon, yeah?
all
Yeah,
right.
good to see you tonight.
Yeah, good night, chaps.
Evening,
All
Mr.
right.
Martin.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Mark.
Martin.
Bye for now.
Yeah, can I just add on two more things to me thing?
Buy up? The stage is yours, my friend.
Yeah. Firstly, going back to what Luke asked me about your favourite class, which are unlimited bangers. Another one I like is the pre-68 banger racing, which is
Right.
classic cars being banger raced. You know, like Rover P5s, P4s, very old Jags, Westies, Wolsleys, A60s.
You see, this is where you're getting into pure sacrilege, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
It
And
is,
it
yeah.
makes classic car people cry.
Because most of us are now going, holy shit.
Exactly, this is what I'm just saying. Yeah, that's it.
PJ, what do you do with the cars you restore?
Oh, you know, you've said no.
I went to. I mean, I've got no shame. I'll give a shout out to any company that produces something good. I went to B&M, and they did some sectional shelving. It's like box shelving, which was possibly you could get two 143 scale cars in one section, and it's probably built up into 15 sections. And I've got 4 of them now on the wall.
All filled up.
And then on top of the bookcase, I filled that up, and then I've got a DVD rack, and on the front of the DVDs, they're now all full of cars. And I had a count up, and that was my point, really, that it's amazing how quickly your collection builds up.
It really
You've only got
does,
to count the number of videos you've done on YouTube, and I think I got 117 videos when I last looked. It might be bigger than that. I can't remember. But I was thinking about this, Laz, and I was thinking what I could do is take all the 164 scale ones, wrap them in bubble wrap, put them in a box. But then, what are you going to do with them then? They're just cars in a box that you never see.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why.
Now-
That's why I have that small cabinet, and that's it.
Well, I thought to
Because-
myself, I know that some of the guys give away cars.
Yeah,
Go on,
Kevs
Kevin.
talk.
Go on, Kevin.
I'd say something I learned about bubble wrap is that so if you use that stuff, it tends to mark the paintwork, and when you unwrap it, you get all these little round marks where the bubbles make
Oh,
contact
that's
with
it.
the paint.
I find
I
out.
advise you to use bubble wrap. I've been there and done
Okay.
that. Sorry, Kev.
You say about bubble wrap, but where I work, a lot of stuff I use is wrapped in bubble wrap. And when I unwrap it, I get the same problem as you just said. It leaves little round marks on it.
Yeah.
On all my parts.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
not a
There's
good
something out
idea.
of nothing.
Wrap it in paper
well-
and then bubble wrap. Yeah.
Do
Yeah, you can get like the parcel paper, which is quite thick and plain. But then I thought to myself, well, if you're going to put them in a box, then you're not going to see them anyway.
No.
What's the point? Now, not far from where I live, there is a place called Conkers. And it's an environmental forestry centre where they take kids around and show them stuff from the past.
I think I've heard of that now. I should be past it. Yeah.
And I was thinking, or a school library or something like that. Have a cabinet and donate them to.
That's a good idea.
To something like that.
No.
But because of my Jerry, there is if I've got a Jerry Anderson thing, like a Shadow Mobile or a UFO Interceptor or Captain Scarlet, that's going nowhere. That is going nowhere, my friend.
Nowhere.
Stopping in my house.
In your case, yeah.
But then they start to build things. One of the other takes on that. My two favourites are anything to do with Jerry Anderson. Anything to do with Batman, as Kev knows, because he sent me no end of parts, bless him. But then you go back and collect all the vehicles you can remember as a kid. So even if it's, I don't, if can you remember, Kevin P, the cannons that used to pull the lever back, you put a matchstick in the front end, things like that. I go back and think, I'd love to have
before more time there.
Of course it is. Yeah. You only been about 24 years old, like. And the Peterbilt.
Yes, PJ, I remember him.
Yeah. So you go back and replace all them vehicles that you can remember. I'm not so attached to the challenge builds that we do all the time. You're just doing it to, take part in the challenge. So you haven't got quite the bond with them kind of vehicles. It's a mix and match, lads, to me. Some I wouldn't part with, but I don't sell them. I would rather give them away than sell them. And I'd love to get some. One of the other things I'd love to do is to find somebody who's interested in doing restorations and show them what's what I've learnt and what's been passed on to me by other people as well. So that'd be really good. I've never found a club. I've never found a diecast restoration club, which is
that'd be a first, wouldn't it? If it was that such thing.
Yeah. I know somebody that sells diecast near me. I know somebody that sells Hot Wheels near me. I restore, like the rest of you guys, I restore them. We seem to be. I love being in the Midlands because we're not far from the next big toy fair, collectors fair that we can go to.
Last Sunday.
Yeah, I mean we're a bit scattered. We have had. It's a shame that we're not all a little bit closer that we can all go to one big fair.
Exactly.
But we have. Every time we've been to a fair, it's been different guys from different YouTube channels. So Luke's been to one, Martin has been to one, Lee from Diecast Fixer Up has been, Paul from Pimp My Diecast has been.
So I'll go to them by myself.
So again, sorry.
I'll go to them by myself, but I've not been to one with you, like though.
Yeah, I think it's the distance, isn't it?
That's it.
It's the problem. We had Moz come up from Bristol. But I think that was more because he was going to a different destination and stopped halfway up to go.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Where are you based? Without giving your address away, for God's sake, don't give your address away.
I won't do that, no.
What's your general area?
Well, I live in Dorking, which is down in the southeast.
Yes, you're South Homewood way. Yeah, we've talked about this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next stop is France, isn't it? Basically,
It's basically, yeah.
You've got,
right over.
I can't remember how long it takes me. We've mentioned this. I used to visit one of our factories in South Homewood down there. It was a small world after all. Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
and but I think it's 2.5, 3 hours to get down there.
Yeah, from where you are, that's about right. Yeah,
it's a good old trek, especially if the M25 is goosed up.
God, tell me about it. I've been there many times.
Yeah, but it's a. my hats off to people that live down in Dorking. It's a beautiful area to visit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful place. Yeah,
You often see the old air balloons take up from.
Yeah. You're saying that several years ago when I was living at my old address, a hot air balloon actually landed in a playing field near me.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, managed to get all the local papers and everything.
And Kev, you're in the again, without giving too much away, because God forbid, you're in the general Bristol area.
No, I'm down in the.
You're in the Devon area, aren't you?
Oh,
Devon.
West Country.
I was born in Totnes. I'm living in Peyton, so that area.
Yeah.
Brixham, Torquay, that.
Yeah, that's further than me then.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Again, it's another. That's a good old trek to get down to there. I mean,
I've got a fair that happens about 4 times a year, but they're not sort of spaced evenly. The first two are sort of attended within the first 2 months, and then the third and fourth one have got big gaps between them date-wise. I've got Newton Abbot Racecourse, but I've been struggling to get to it. Last time it was on is Bloody Mother's Day, so I couldn't go. There's always something in the way, you know.
Yeah.
Are they plastic pit fairs?
No, they're classed as toy and train fairs. There's a lot of railways, but there are die-casts there, and people selling tyres and things and that sort of thing. Yeah. And you can get a pretty good bargain there, really. But like I say, I struggle to get there, and I keep meaning to take my camera and film it, because I think it's probably be interesting for others out there to have a look.
That's right, just to see what's actually there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Luke, just to tie this up, whereabouts are you based?
I'm
General,
from
please
Chester. Chester.
Chester. Luke's in Chester.
Chester.
Okay.
He'll tear a strip off of me if I say what I think.
Don't.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say what he sounds like. Don't say. Now I'm struggling not to say it, but we and I wouldn't say it because he is a giant of a man. It's we were fortunate that Luke and I'm going to get. Forgive me if I get this wrong. Owen.
That's correct, mate.
Owen, Luke's son, came down to Stafford. We had a great day out with Martin as well, and Andy Bourne, who's not online. We haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. We had a cracking day. It was, and the best thing about it was, I went up to this this stall, and I said to this chap, "Blah blah blah. This model, how much is it? Blah blah blah." And Martin says, "Oh, you don't want one of them." And this bloke's face, I could see his face turn and go, "You're Martin Dare, aren't you?"
Oh, I mean, you're saying that this, yeah.
And they spotted him. Martin's never on camera apart from when he does things like this. And they spotted him by voice alone. And, I ended up paying for a vehicle, and they gave Martin 2 for free. So there you go. That's what you've got to look forward to if you become.
That's the fame.
Famous YouTube Diecast restorer.
Become famous.
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant though. I loved it. You know.
We have a question from Henrik. Has anyone been doing some Matchbox trucks convoys?
Has anyone been doing?
I've not seen those for years. I used to get those in my childhood days. You said loads.
No, I haven't done any convoys yet, any trucks yet. I mean, like 80s lorries.
So sorry, let me just clear that up then, Henry. Are you asking, has anybody done a diorama of Matchbox trucks, a convoy of trucks? I'll tell you a story that's not related to Matchbox, but I did start to print the duck off the movie Convoy. I've printed about I don't know how many I've sent out now, but the duck off the hood.
Oh, the rubber duck.
3D printed it. Yeah, off the Mack truck. I 3D printed about 7 of them and sent about. And one of the challenges was to paint up the duck And I don't know whether you're still online, Les, from Moz Models. I sent one to Les, and he painted it up. It looked, I nearly swore. It looked really good by the time he'd done it. He got like a punk hair cut down the back, like, and he made a cracking job of it. So the challenge was take the duck and recreate it. Like, still waiting for mine. Says more. Says Michael, bless you, Michael. I ought to send you something back. You've sent so much stuff to us.
Excuse me a minute, gentlemen.
Absolutely. No worries, Luke.
Okay, yeah, we're still here.
We ought to send. For those that don't know, Michael buys everything from the UK and then sends it back. Whenever we ask him for something. So as much as we take the Michael out of Michael and we take the Michael out of Laz, the guys have been so generous, even when they've had some of their bulk buys, and we share the stuff round, which is great. And I can't thank people enough. Even if it's been plastic kit models, axles, wheels, windscreens, you name it. Because eBay and Facebook Marketplace are charging us a lot of money, and it's poor quality. So one of the, and so I'm a crazy Aussie. You are, yeah, but we love you, mate. We love you. What scale, PJ? We do play apps. We do everything from 164. I mean, it's usually 164, 143 scale for the Diecast boys. There are the odd. I mean, I was gifted the John Player Special, the 125th scale. I don't know about. I'll pass this around to Kevin, and Laz. The bigger the scale, it seems to be the harder to get the replacement parts for. I don't know if that's right.
Yes.
Find it.
Yeah. The rarer the model is. I mean, Matchbox, Corgi, Dinky, pretty easy. But when you go to Mercury, which is made in Italy, or Impies, or these kind of models, it gets harder and harder to find the parts.
Yeah.
They just didn't have the volume of sales, did they? Like the other stuff. Makes them.
I mean, that's actually. I should have asked this. That's a good question, really. It's a cracking question. Have you got a vehicle that you've not been able to restore because you can't get the part for it?
It's an interesting one.
I've never thought about it before until now.
Oh.
But when we had the we was talking about this last night with Luke and the tavern. If you don't know what the tavern is, the tavern is our version of this, but it's on Facebook on a Friday night. It's a little bit more boisterous than what we've got here.
Just a little bit.
You've got to have thick skin, God forbid. But it's like our stand-up comedy night, stroke karaoke, you name it. It's all rolled into one on a Friday night. But I was talking to Luke about this, or there's several of us talking about this last night. When we came out of Stafford, one of the best features of going to Stafford on that particular day is when we came out, because the likes of Luke and Andy had brought so much stuff with them to share with everybody else.
All right.
And we were like a bunch of vultures. I feel like I should apologise, really, because it was like we were rattling in the back of everybody charged the back of Luke's car, getting shoved out the way like. Not quite that brutal, but
close to it.
it felt like it. And
that's what it's about, helping each other out. I really enjoyed that day, PJ. Like, obviously, it was the first time I met you, top bloke, and Martin and Andy. Brilliant. Really enjoyed that day. Really did.
Well, it came down. I saw him. True story. This is. I saw him approaching off to one side, and I thought it was a fucking basketball team. It was like, wow. Right. Excuse my language. But Luke and Owen were good guys, and hopefully, we'll. What we did do, Kevin from Kevin P. We gave Owen, or the lads gave Owen a bunch of diecast, plastic kits to do.
Yeah.
So hopefully, at some point, Owen will show us through Luke some photographs of the kits that he's done.
He is going to do a channel, PJ. He's just sort of getting to grips with what he's doing with them. He's a bit like me. He doesn't read the instructions.
But that's a man thing. What's the first thing you do? You buy a brand new TV, throw the instructions in the bin. 2 weeks later, you're trying to figure out how to switch it on. You know what I mean? That's the man approach. I love that. I love that. Brilliant. But he's got to, without blowing smoke up his backside, like he's got a cracking dad that'll show him how to crack on with what he's doing. Like so, good on you, bud.
Show him how it's done. Show him how it's done.
But the point being was, when we had the get together after the Stafford Toy Fair, I picked out an MGBGT, which, because Luke will go, he'll confirm. I went, ooh, like, ooh. One of my favourite cars from when I was a kid, and I think it was a yellow MGBGT. I've got it in the back. But to try and find the point behind all this, it was what I'm getting at slowly. Trying to find that replacement door, the right-hand driver's side replacement door, it's next to impossible without having this collection of people that are saying, I've got that spare part, I've got that spare part, and we'll do we don't do deals, we just swap parts mainly. So that's it's the only environment I know of that we that do this kind of thing. Wow. Your rubber duck print. What scale, PJ? Your rubber duck.
What's the point? What scale was that? Yeah.
Oh no, where did I put it? I've got it to. I've got it to hand. No, I haven't. It's close. It's very close. Laz, take over for a couple of minutes while I disappear behind the magical screen of the MOM.
Okay, any more questions, guys? Have you got any more questions?
I've got one, Laz.
No, go ahead.
I'll send it to Kev, and then I'll bang at Kev, and I'll put it out to the rest of you. But when I started restoring, I'm heavy-handed. Now, I had a little dinky, little roadster racing car with a little man in it. I bought it from the car boot. I think I paid about 12 quid for it. So I set it all up, started filming, drilling the rivet, and I got the base plate off, started drilling the posts out, and I snapped the drill bit in it. Ooh. I tried everything to get the drill bit out, and I couldn't. I tried little easy out. I ended up destroying the post. So that car now, I can't finish it. Is any of you obviously suffered the same fate that car did when you've been restoring?
Yeah, I had one.
Once or twice when I've tried doing it, drill bit snapped off. But my bit is usually fall back out again, so I can tell them rebuild it, whatever.
Have you ever put too much off a car, Kev, and not being able to finish the project?
I did do once. I got a Corgi Toyota Supra, I think it was, or something like that. And I started pulling it apart, and the whole thing just broke in half. So I had to scrap it in the end.
That's a scrappy.
Yeah.
Mr. P, have you done that?
Yeah. It's got a funny name. Helek. It's on my channel. I can't remember what happened, but I think the tap snapped off of it. And I got a cutting disc in the Dremel, and I cut the post right the way down to the roof. And then I machined up a new post for it on the lathe.
Mm.
And
you managed to save it.
So I don't know if you can cut the actual post.
That's what I was thinking. You know, like I don't like. Yeah, maybe do something like that.
I've done it as well. I've done it as well. I just glued the base back on because I couldn't take the drill bit out either. So I just filled up the river post up to smooth.
Yeah.
And then I just glued the base back.
Oh, that's what I was thinking to do. Maybe if they do just that one, drill the back one out, put a little rivet in, and maybe trim the rivet head off and glue it, obviously, and then glue the rivet head on the top. Save it that way.
You can do that. Yeah.
Sometimes it's making a model look like it should look rather than the engineering behind it. So it may be that if you one of the worst things that happens to me or has happened to me is blowing the posts out when you're drilling them, you know, for threading a bolt. But as long as you can if you can get it to a point where you can put something in there, it doesn't always have to be a bolt, or you can get a bolt and file it down into more of a drawing pin effect. Just as long as you've got something to make that model look complete, it's kind of cheating in a way.
It's bodging, BJ. It's bodging, not cheating.
It's bodging. But then again, if I was, I'd be more conscious about it, Luke, if I was selling them.
Yeah.
When it's just for me, I mean, most of us, I know, Laz has sold pieces in the past, but most of us keep our collection. You know, we don't sell them.
I will be giving a few away. Sorry, PJ. I will be giving a few models away once I reach 1,000 subscribers. So anybody it's watching that, you know, if you come on board, there will be some given away.
Okay. This is what I wanted to say. I've done 320 videos, and I've got like 30 cars at home, and I haven't sold all of them. I know I sent some cars to Australia. I've got some cars in the United States, New Jersey, and I don't remember where David lives. I think he lives in Alabama. And I've got cars in Europe as well. I've got cars in Italy, Hungary. So yeah, I think I gave more than 200 cars away. They're free. I mean, I've sent them out as gifts. You know, I've done a draw and stuff like that. So at least they have a piece of Lazi-low collectible somewhere.
That is history making. You know,
isn't it? It really is.
That's legendary.
No, I think it's a nice feeling that somewhere in Australia there's a car I've done.
Exactly, yeah.
You know,
it's the same thing. You can't go.
Somebody look at it and that guy there done this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I will always remember Pete, PB at Restorations, bless him. We don't see enough of Pete. I wish we saw a bit more of him. But we have our September challenge, which is the Paint It Blue challenge for the Alzheimer's Society. And he put the car that he did onto eBay.
Yeah.
And I'd apologize if I got it wrong, but it sold for something like $60, 60 American dollars.
That's right.
You know, and it was a big chunk towards the fund that we collected that year. It's amazing what people will do. Now, just going back to, there's a comment there that I've no idea what it means. Laz, it looks like it's in hieroglyphics. I don't know what it means.
Chem Bazaar, which I think it says which bazaar, which market.
Which market?
Which market?
Bazaar is in our language. Bazaar means it's like a flea market.
I know what bazaar.
Bazaar. Yeah, bazaar.
I'm going to go back to what Play Apps was saying, and there is the.
That's it. Yeah.
There's the duck.
He's good.
he did say to me, "What is the scale?" I'm going to try and.
What's that
It's
one?
about 3.5 inches.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah, and took about 4.5 hours to print on
3.5 inches. So it's nearly 10 centimeters.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else does anybody else do 3D printing on here? Anybody ever got it? No.
I need to do it, PJ, because I want to design my own wheels. Do need to get into it.
What I will say is, go on, Kev.
I did start 3D printing quite a while ago now. It must be about 3 years ago, but I gave up with it. I just didn't get on with it at all. I could print stuff,
it's making it pay for itself.
It took so long. It took so long.
Yeah. I did. I think it depends on what. When you say it takes so long, Kevin, I completely understand that, because that took a bloody age. However, if Luke's just picked up on the wheels, you can do wheels in like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and that's for you've got a version of, I don't know if everybody understands what CAD is. CAD. CAD is a is a design piece of software for designing objects. Then you save it off, so you can design wheels in CAD, this kind of thing. There is a free version that. Wow, we're digging ourselves an hole that I'm not going to get out of here. There is a free version. It's an easy version to use. Luke, I think we ought to have a 3D printing discussion session.
I think we should, mate. Yeah.
It's something that I'd like to get into. But 3D printers in themselves have come on in the last 2 years incredibly compared to what they were. I paid 250 quid for my printer. The same printer is now being and that's for using PLA, Kevin. The reels of one of my daughter's friends that she used to go to school with has brought this. It's a creative printer, and it's now gone up to £700. It's now a resin printer.
Resin printer, yeah.
That's how it's developed. Going back to talking about the likes of PB from PB Restorations, he's done some cracking resin prints. He did I'm going to say it's a Mustang, and Michael's in the chat. If you're still there, Michael, I think it was a Mustang. Michael will correct me if I'm wrong, but the body of this car looks superb when it was done in print in resin. So you pay. I guess the moral of the story is you pay for what you get. If you pay for shit, you're going to get crap turned out. If you go to the high-end material, you get a better result. It is what it is. FreeCAD. I think that is PlayApps. I think that is probably what I use. FreeCAD. Because people will say, "Well, just print it." Well, you can't just print it. You've got to give some thought to how you make. I don't know if I can take this up. Yes, I've got it in. There we go. I've got it in pieces. Just something like that. You've got to. It's in different sections, if you can see. Although it's all joined together, you've got to design that in CAD before you go and 3D print it. So there's various widths, dimensions, sections.
Something that small.
Is it? Sorry, mate. Will it be like sort of templates on that CAD where you like a basic start point from? Like, say, for a wheel, for instance.
Yeah. You based it on shapes, so cylinders, squares, cubes, triangles, rectangles, squares, circles, that kind of thing. But then when it's when you start getting down to the fine detail. Holden Monaro and a Holden Tehran. Michael's saying, I imagine, are they Australian? I'm going to say they're Australian cars if it's the Holden.
Holden car, yeah.
Yeah, they look superb when he'd done them.
Australian Vauxhalls, they are, basically.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. You can go to. I think we should save this for another night because I think it'd be a great specialised subject to talk about when we haven't got somebody as a guest. However, you can go to Thingiverse and download a print that's already been created.
Right.
Now, what you can do, picking up on what Play Apps has said, you can explode those plans and resize them, the dimensions in FreeCAD. So if it's a 143 scale print and you want a 164 scale print, you can reduce it in FreeCAD, save it, and then print it. Because you get some specialized software that comes with the printer as well. It's.
I think that's the next thing I want to invest in 3D.
Yeah, some people love it, some people hate it. But then again, you can do the material version. 3D printing and resin printing is like CGI to me. Going back to the old Thunderbird days, that's when you start using molds, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's different versions of creating parts. There's old school and new school, and I've had a go at both, and they can come out equally as good, equally as good. But that 3D printer takes some. If I've got the money to burn, I'd have a new 3D resin printer. I think it'd be the way I'd go.
I think that's the way I'm going to go with the resin.
I'd like to go to a show. I'd like to go to a show where 3D resin printers are on, display and what they can do. Ironically, the company that produced that 3D printer behind me, a lot of people have seen it because it's usually on display on the tavern on a Friday night. Is only about 15 miles from me, but when you purchase it, it comes from Wales. So it's just like the distribution centres. It has to do a big U-turn to get delivered. They are normally STL files, correct Play Apps. Yeah, you save it as a .stl file. But I think we'll do that when we run out of subject matter, and I don't say Kev is a subject matter. When we run out of guests, we'll start concentrating on specific areas of model making. I thought we were going to struggle for an hour on this. We've ended up doing an hour and
but near an hour and a half, just over.
An hour and a bit. So my thanks as always to Laz, to Luke, to Kevin, and especially to our Kev. I'm going to call. We're going to have to start calling Kevin Mr. P again. I think.
I think we'll have to.
Just to break it up. Thanks to Kev for getting a grill in for us tonight.
That's all right. It's been a pleasure. Enjoyed it.
Thank you to the guys in the chat that have joined us, whether it's been 2 or 3. We're starting to get something like 70 views on these chats by the time they're done. So it's going well.
Yeah.
Please, if you've got a few pennies to spare, look at the Patreon that we've got going. It helps support the channel, helps support the licensing for the software. So I'm going to say good night, and then we'll say good night from each of the boys. Luke.
Good night, PJ. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good to see you tonight.
Pleasure. Lads.
Thank you for watching, for everyone, and have a good night. Enjoy your
good to see you, Les. Yeah, take care of yourself.
And cheers, guys.
Right, bye everyone. Thanks for watching.
We've got a good morning from Michael, and we've got
good morning, good evening, Henrik as well. So good evening all to guys on the chat as well.
Who's the next guest in 2 weeks' time, then?
Well, this is a biggie. And that's no disrespect to people that have come before, which I feel like I'm going to have to defend myself. But hopefully, all things being equal, we're going to have Ron join us from Sumu Diecast, which I'm really looking forward to. He's one of my favourite builders.
I don't think I've seen him yet.
Thank you, Play-Apps.
Yeah, he's. These are going to be all the Hot Wheel type questions, and I'm hoping Luke may have some specialised paint questions for Ron.
Be interested to see what he's using. Yeah.
Yeah, he also. I think we touched on Spectraflame last night. Spectraflame last night.
Yeah.
These are the kind of subjects that Ron does. He's also a graphic designer, so he does 3D printing as well. So the man's pretty much covers all the bases. He's a gentle
man for the 3D printing
guy. I haven't spoken to in a long time live, so hopefully we're going to look forward to that. It's going to be great. If you've got a YouTube channel and you want to put yourself forward into this format and get grilled by the boys, please let me know. And we've got plenty of dates spare between now and the end of the year. We will be coming round and doing the same thing this time next year, and re-inviting the guests to see how they've gone on.
Good idea.
What's their latest? What the latest is? Blah blah blah. So this is PJ signing off. Thank you to the guys. Thank you to the hosts, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Evening, everybody.
Evening, guys. Evening, everyone.
See you next week.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.